Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to another Rocky Mountain Rankings. I'm your host, Davey Stallo, and today, if you haven't already figured it out, we're ranking the albums of Fate's Warning, that band that started out in Hartford, Connecticut in 1982. John Arch on vocal, Jim Matheos on guitar, Victor Adruni on guitar, Joe DiBiase on bass, and Steve Zimmerman on drums. And of course, that lineup would not last. The only original member left from the band that started out, is Jim Matheos. Everybody else has gone on to do other things. Though they have gotten back together and did some concerts, original lineup, except minus Victor Adruni, or Adruni. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing that. John Arch, the original vocalist, lasted only 3 albums before he decided to leave. Well, of course, it depends on who you want to believe. Some say he left to stay with the job he was doing. Others, he says that, well, he was not asked to stay or something, and, or I don't know. Too many different people saying different things. So, but anyway, this band's got 13 albums, studio albums, some live albums, and one compilation album called Chasing Time. And the album Chasing Time, the compilation, is how I got started with Fate's Warning. A friend of mine recorded it. It was on cassette, and I thought it was dang good. Especially the older stuff. So, but anyway, I didn't get onto these guys until probably maybe 7-8 years ago. They've really changed from when they first started out. It's their first 3 albums the first 4 albums, let's put it that way, compared to what they do now is like 2 different bands. So anyway, before we get started, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. All you got to do is click the button and you're done. Please leave a comment down below, like the video, hit the notification bell, and you won't miss an episode. I'm trying to come up with other things to do on here. I've been doing rankings of the songs of different albums, but we won't get to that right now. But I'm just an ordinary country rocker, just like talking about music. As of late, with the way the world's going, it's kind of hard to stay upbeat sometimes, if you know what I'm saying. But we won't get to that. I won't bore you with it because you probably going through the same thing, wondering what tomorrow's going to bring. And so anyway, let's get into something positive, shall we? Let's get into some cool vibes, shall we? Yeah, some cool vibes. Where we can just drift away on the boat of righteousness and stuff, Can you dig it, man? Let's get this started. 13 albums. We're going to start with number 13 and work my way up to number 1. Just because it's number 13 doesn't mean I hate it. This just means I don't reach for as much. And we're going to start out, let's see here. Number 13. An album that it's good. I just can't figure it out. And I've heard a lot of people, other people say this, same thing. Released April 22nd, 1997. Concept album called A Pleasant Shade of Gray. Different cover. When I first got this album, I'm like, okay, interesting. Producer was Terry Brown. If you don't know who Terry Brown was or is, he did a lot of Rush albums. I can't remember how. I think he did up to. Trying to think of Moving Pictures. He might have been beyond that. I can't remember for sure. But anyway, it's well done. It's just one long song called "A Pleasant Shade of Gray," divided up into 12 parts. I listened to this again the other day, and I mean, there's some good parts on it. I mean, there some they do on their live show. I just cannot get into this album. I mean, it's a bizarre quandary here, but like I said, it's well done. Definitely Fates Warning. It's just, I can't figure it out. Of course, you're probably saying, well, what's to figure out, David? Well, I can't figure out if I like it or not. You know, it's just bizarre. So, but anyway, that's number 13. Starting at number 13. Okay, moving on. Okay, another album that, well, it's good, but I just still cannot get into it. Released July 26, 1994. Talking about Inside Out. Now this particular one it's got 2 discs in it, I think. No, it's got 3 discs. 3 discs. Disc 1 is original remastered album. Disc 2 got some live stuff, some demos, some rough mixes of other songs. And it's also got a live DVD, different songs, other things. On this one, had Ray Adler on vocals, Jim Matthias on guitar, Frank Oresti on guitar, Joe DiBiase on bass, and Mark Zonder on drums. I do believe this will be the last one with that lineup. Can't remember for sure. But, you know, it's a decent album. It's really mellow. You know, it's got some, heaviness to it, but it's just like they decided to go into the mellow stage here. This period right here, from this, where this is from, the mid 90s. Not my favorite period for Fates Warning. Outside Looking In's all right. Pale Fire, kind of like that song. The Strand, all right. Shelter Me, Island in the Stream, Down to the Wire, Face of Fear, Inward Bound, instrumental, Monument. Probably the only song I really like, and that was on the compilation album. That ends with Afterglow. Out of all those songs, Monument, Pale Fire, and Outside Looking In is probably my favorites. rest kind of questionable. But, you know, it's just a bizarre period. Of course, that period, you know, is when alternative rock and stuff was coming out, and you know, people were cutting their hair, you know, stuff like that. But don't get me wrong; these albums are worth listening to. You know, listen to them. What I find not very good, you might love. So this album, you might find yourself just falling in love with. And that's my number 12. Let's move on to number 11. Okay. Released October 29th, 1991. This album was the start of that period of more melodic rock, you know. But it's still, you know, there's still some great songs on it. Of course, I'm talking about Parallels. But again, you know, it's in that area of the 90s where, you know, they were trying to, I guess they're trying to figure out what they really wanted to do, what kind of band they really wanted to be. Leaving the Past Behind, good. Life at Stillwater, not a big fan of that one. Eye to Eye is good. The 11th Hour is really good. Point of View, we can always say goodbye, or we only say goodbye. Don't Follow Me, and The Road Goes On Forever. Decent album, but again, not my favorite. There's the band on the back. Just like I said, it was starting that period of time when they were going to a different direction from when they started out. I mean, if you listen to this album and then listen to their earlier stuff, I mean, it's just a totally different sound. So, and it kind of makes you wonder if Ray Adler, you know, of course, Jim Matthias, he wrote all the tracks, so this was, you know, his baby. Ray Adler would write, you know, eventually write some songs later on, but I think Jim Matthias, he was asserting his power here. He knew where he wanted to take the band, and it was in this different direction from what they started. So, but definitely check it out. Decent album. Definitely improvement. Better than Parallels, or not Parallels, Inside Out. So, anyway, on to number 10. Okay, released November 6th, 2020. Their last album, Long Day, Good Night. They kind of get back to a good balance here to me. I don't know if there's a picture of them here. I thought there was. Nope. Not picture. But on this one, he had Ray Adler, Jim Matthias, Joey Vera on bass, Bobby. There's apologies if I mispronounced this. There's Zombrick on drums, and Mike Abdro on guitar. He does a guitar solo on Shuttered World, The Way Home, and The Longest Shadow of the Day. Got some people, guest musicians, Gavin Harrison on drums on When the Snow Falls, Mike Posen violin on Under the Sun, Raphael Weinroth Brown cello on Under the Sun, and George Hadius on bass on When the Snow Falls and the Last Song. Good album. With this and the one before it, I'm feeling that they've finally figured out what type of sound they wanted. But boy, is it different from what they started out with. Still digesting this one. This one has a potential of moving up, but right now I'm sitting at number 10. Destination Onward, good. Shattered Worlds, good. They're all decent songs. Along A Lonely Walk, Now Comes the Rain, The Way Home, Under the Sun, Scars, Begin Again, When the Snow Falls, Liar, Glass Houses, The Longest Shadow of the Day, and the last song. And I gotta tell you, when I seen the title of the 13th song, the last song, I'm like, are they trying to tell us something here? They're trying to say that, maybe this is the last song. But from what I'm getting, they're planning on putting another album out here in the next year or two. But yeah, this is definitely, they're finally figured out what they want to do. Good album, definitely check it out. So, moving on to number 9. Okay, this album was released in 1989. On this one, let me put it this way: when Ray Adler joined the band to replace John Arch, he had to basically come up with a high voice, and he does that on the first album he's on, No Exit. Here, he's starting to tone down the high, the falsetto voice. I think that's how you pronounce it. Because John Arch, good singer, but he had a heck of a time understanding what he was saying on all the songs. So, and I know a lot of people did not like John Arch. They liked Ray Adler better, but I really like John Arch. I wish he would have stayed on, but I'm not taking anything away from Ray. But anyway, I'm talking about Perfect Symmetry. Again, good album. Not one of their strongest, but definitely better. I like this one better than the ones that came before it. Part of the Machine's good. Through the Different Eyes, Static Acts, A World Apart, Fate's Hand, The Arena, Chasing Time, Nothing Left to Say. All decent songs. On this one, Frank Oresti does quite a bit of writing. I think he does say 4 albums, 4 songs. Jim Matthias, on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5. I think this last album you would see that for a bit. Jim would be starting to assert his hold over the band. I don't know if there's any pictures in here. Oh yeah, there is. But this was the album to say goodbye to the original sound. You could say definitely tell what was to come on this one, but it still had an edge, the metal edge on it. And definitely prog. You know, all these albums are prog metal, prog rock, whatever you want to call it. But I do like this album, but not as much as I do the what's to come here. So let's move right along to number 8. Okay, number 8. Released July 1st, 2016. Talking about Theories of Flight. Again, a good, solid album. Let's see, there's the band. Frank Aresti left the band by this point. So I don't know if he did any songs on here. Oh yeah, he did. He guitar solo on From the Rooftops and White Flag. But he basically decided he'd had enough again. He had before left the band, but then he came back, I think, for the one before this. But we'll get to that in a bit. Again, good rockin' album. From the Rooftops, great. First 3 songs I love on this album. 7 Stars, great. SOS. Light and Shade of Things. Like this one too. Starts out really mellow, but then works up. White Flag's good. Like Stars, Our Eyes Have Seen is good. Ghosts of Home, I love that one. Theories of Flight. Yeah, again, good rockin' album, but this could move up, but right now it's stuck at number 8. So let's move on to number 7. And number 7 is the one that came before Theories of Flight. It's Darkness in a Different Light. Released 2013. And again, I don't know if there's any pictures. Oh yeah, there it is. That's Frank Aresti in the middle there. Yeah, this had been, or it was the first, first album in almost 10 years. They, up until this one, they hadn't put one out since 2004 with FWX, or Fates Warning 10. So, and I know Ray Adler was really getting on the rest of the band. So, are we still a band, or are we just going our separate ways? So I think he had a little bit to do with getting this album done and out. But yeah, this is a really good album. Really great, some fine songs on this one. 1,000 Fires, starts, hits you right in the face. Firefly's great. Desire, Falling, I Am's great. Lighthouse, probably my favorite track of the whole album. It's just a dark, mysterious song. It just gets your mind working. You picture this lighthouse, these dark and mysterious, what's in there? And plus, when I was listening to first got this album, I was reading the Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children at the time, and there's a lighthouse It talks about a lighthouse in that, the first book. So it kind of went along with that book at that point. Into the Blast, great. Neil and Bay's all right. Chloroform. That one is really interesting because the lyrics are by Kevin Moore, and if you don't know who Kevin Moore is, he was the original keyboardist for Dream Theater. And then it ends with, and yet it moves. 14 mega prog song. This one's got a bonus disc, got Firefly extended version, Falling Further, and then a couple live tracks, One and Life is Still Water. So yeah, definitely check this out. It's like they really didn't, for 9 years they were gone, but when they returned, they didn't miss a beat. They got right back up and got a really heavy album out. So yeah, definitely check it out. So that's number 7, Darkness in a Different Light. Going to number 6. Okay. We're going way back. Well, not too far back, but way back. Back to the beginning. Released September 9th, 1984. Talking about Night on Brocken, where the witches and the ghosts roam. Ooh. Look at that cover. A lot of people hate that cover. I think it's kind of unique. But hey, this right here is the cover of later issue releases. There's the band. But yeah, this is... A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people, a lot of people do. People say, well, it's, definitely Iron Maiden flavored, and I agree. The band basically revered Iron Maiden, along with other bands, but Maiden was their mainstay. They were just basically trying to find their way here. And they would with their next 2 albums. Buried Alive, great. The Calling, good. Kiss of Death, Night on Brocken. Little Instrumental, SCK, whatever that means. Misfit, Shadowfax, another instrumental. Damnation, that's also was included on their compilation album Chasing Time. And ends with Soldier Boy. This one's got some bonus tracks. Last Call, Demo, The Calling. I think Last Call was the original version of Misfits. I might be wrong on that one. Or Kiss of Death. But anyway. Calling is Rehearsal version, Kiss of Death, Live, Brooklyn, New York, and they do a cover of the Iron Maiden's Flight of Icarus. No surprise there. I don't know if they get any more pictures in here. Nope. That's say John Arch right here. Joe DiBiase, Steve Zimmerman, Adruni, Victor Adruni, and Jim Matthias. They are rocking out. Look at that leather on, I think that's Victor right here. Wearing the leathers. Oh, for crying out loud. Yeah. So anyway, I kind of enjoy this album. It's not, it could have been better. It included a lot of more original material. They're on the back, leather jackets on. But still, decent production. And definitely Iron Maiden influenced. So anyway, yeah, that's number 6. We're top 5 at 5. Okay, top 5 at 5. I know I may get a little flack for this one because this album is revered among Fates Warning fans. But like I said, this is how I see them. This is what I reach for the most and don't. Released 1986. Basically their breakthrough album, Awaken the Guardian. Fantastic cover. Now this is the remastered edition. The original edition had a different cover. The Fates Warning logo was over here in the corner. This one's also got three CDs. It's got the original remastered album. Then disc 2 got some demos, some live stuff. Sorcerer. So well, let's start with the remastered album. Starts out with the Sorceress, which is fantastic. I believe, that one and one other, was released on the compilation album. Belly of the Dolls, great. Fata Morgana, love that one. Guardian, that was released on the compilation along with Prelude to Ruin. Giants Lore, Heart of Winter, Time Long Past, and then ends with Exodus. Solid album. Solid album. Of course, you probably say, why are you putting it at number 5? Well, because I like the ones to come are a little bit better. The disc 2 has the demos of the Sorceress, Valley of the Dolls, and Prelude to Ruin. Then it has everything else is live. Fata Morgana, Damnation, The Apparition, The Sorceress, Guardian, and Die Young. Black Sabbath cover. Then it's got a live disc, live DVD at the Sundance Club. Horrible sound. I've tried to watch it. Looks like it was recorded by somebody with an ancient cell phone or ancient something. The sound is just horrible. You can't. I mean, the guitars are overamped. I mean, it's just awful. So you get, I guess 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But definitely get this, the live disc, this live audio on the disc 2 is great. Well, they couldn't have that on the live DVD, I don't know. But this is also the first album with Frank Oresti on it. Victor had left by this point. They also had keyboards on this. Jim Archibald. on keyboards. So pull one of these up. Let's see here. Whoop. That's the live DVD right there. I mean, they do Valley of the Dolls, Pirates of the Underground, Orphan Gypsy, Fata Morgana, Traveler in Time, The Sorceress, Guardian, Prelude to Ruin, Damnation, The Apparition, then Die Young and Kiss of Death. It's too bad that the sound quality is horrible. There's the band. I don't know if I got any more pictures in here. If I can get the booklet out. That's the only thing that sucks about DVD or CDs. You try to get the booklet out, and it takes you a while. Oh, yeah, there we go. This, of course, is the last album with John Arch on vocals. But the artwork on this one is just wonderful. Just wonderful. Of course, they're things would kind of go downhill for as far as I'm concerned on upcoming albums. You'll see what I'm talking about here. But definitely get this one. You know, like I said, it's too bad the live DVD's awful. So anyway, that's number 5. Going on to number 4. Okay. Number 4, released in 1988, first album with Ray Adler on vocals. John Arch is gone. Talking about No Exit. That album cover, I mean, the only thing it has going for it is the band's name. I mean, if this was Fates Warning's first album, it probably wouldn't have sold very well. But don't judge a book. Excuse me. Don't judge a book by its cover. This is an excellent album. Great debut for Ray Adler. Starts out with the little thing or little song called "No Exit." Kind of a haunting vocal by Ray. Then goes to Anarchy Divine, Frank Oresti pen tune. Love it. Hard, dry metal. And Ray doing the high vocals, high range. Probably the only, this and the following album would be the only album he would do that on. Silent Cries, love that one. In a Word, great. Shades of Heavenly Death, great. Two Oresti pen tunes. And then it goes into The Ivory Gate of Dreams, which is excess of 21 minutes. Just 2 seconds under 22 minutes. Divided into 8 parts. Innocence, Cold Days, Daylight Dreamers, Quintus, Ivory Tower, The Whispers of the Wind, Acquiescence, and Retrospect. Love it. Solid album. I ordered this, and it was supposed to have a bonus DVD in it. And I opened it up. Well, guess what? There's only one disc in here. Yeah. So that really made me mad. Of course, there's the band right there. Ray right there in the center. think that's, I don't think there's any other pictures in here. Oh yeah, there is. Okay. There they are. Great, like I said, a great debut for Ray. And things would change after this album. Well, start to change. So, but anyway, a lot of people revere that album. I just wish they could have had a better cover. But can't have everything. Also some bonus material on here. A demo of Quintus and a couple of outtakes. Ivory Gate of Dreams, outtake 1. Ivory Gate of Dreams, outtake 2. The bonus DVD, which I was supposed to get, but didn't, had At No Exit tour documentary, which I would love to see. Music video of Silent Cries, Anarchic Divine, music video, and Valley of the Dolls live in Philadelphia in 1988. Why I didn't get the bonus DVD, I have no idea. But you know, just definitely check it out though. So anyway, moving on to number 3. Okay, number three. Come on here. Released October 1985. Their second album, The Spectre Within. Another great album cover. Love this one. Haunting album cover, and of course it's what happens when you drop them. Makes me mad. I remember dropping this one. Last album with Victor on it. Has some live shots of the band. A lot of people, like I said, revere this time with Fate's Warning. Definitely a lot harder in their sound back then. Starts out with, this album is where things start going. They start finding their sound. Traveler in Time, great. Orphan Gypsy, Without a Trace, Pirates of the Underground, The Apparition, Carrie Ellison, and Epitaph. All solid, progressive metal. Just this and Awaken the Guardian. If I was to rank the first 3, I would put this one at number 1, Awaken the Guardian at number 2, and the first album at number 3. Of course, that's the way that's the way it turned out anyway. So just later on. So anyway, this one's also got some bonus tracks: Radio Underground, Live, The Apparition Live, Carrie Harrison demo, Epitaph demo. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's just a solid progressive metal album. So anyway, we're at the top 2 now. Okay, number 2, the album that would be their last until, well, for 9 years, released October 5th, 2004. Their 10th album, FW10, or Fate's Warning 10, FWX. No, I don't think there's any pictures in this one. In fact, I know there isn't. Yeah. Why they decided to wait so long between albums, I don't know. But this one, again, chock full of great music. They're right here. They're finding their edge. It's again, Left Here, Simple Human, love it. River Wide, Ocean Deep, Haunting Melody, Another Perfect Day, great. Hear Me, sequence number 7, Crawl, A Handful of Doubt, Stranger with a Familiar Face, and Wish. Just all great music. The only weak one would be sequence number 7 and Hear Me, but still solid progressive metal. Ray Adler, Jim Matheos, Mark Zonder, Joey Vera on this one. Frank Aresti left by this point, but definitely check this one out. And if you're a Fates Warning fan, you know what my number 1 is. And you're probably going, how could you possibly put this at your number 1? Very easily, because I like this one. Released July 25th, 2000. Talking about Disconnected. Now, yeah, album cover. In fact, all these album covers from later albums. Well, this one's kind of good. I kind of like that one, but this one's kind of strange. But again, don't let the book cover dictate what's inside. Solid. The whole album is solid all the way through. Starts out with Disconnected Part 1, instrumental. Every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. It's just awesome. I mean, yeah, it's an instrumental, but still it sets the tone for the album. Goes into ones, fantastic. So great. Pieces of Me, fantastic. Something for Nothing, Still Remains. And then it ends with Disconnected Part 2 with the spoken word in it. On this one, he had Ray, Jim, Mark, Joey, Kevin Moore on keyboards, Steve Tushar on additional keys, Lori Matheos on vocals, Amy Mota on vocals, and Bernie Altman on vocals. I just love this album. I just miss it. Again, I love these albums that get your imagination working. And I have this album to thank for coming up with the ending of my second book. That book I'm talking about, it's right here. That's my pen name. These, get that back in there. Are songs that just get your mind, your imagination going. It's just wonderful. And Disconnected, the two instrumentals, got the ending for my book in the beginning and stuff. They just helped me out there. A lot of albums, like from got Face 40 on my mind right now. Nightwish, another band. just fantastic. So, but yeah, I think they're basically down to 3 people by this point. Joey Vera had not officially joined the band. Yeah, there's Jim, Mark, and Ray. And Ray had put on a lot of weight. But still, it's definitely check that out. Check all these out. They're wonderful. Fates Warning is a fantastic group. You know, even the albums I don't like the least, I like the least, are great. Got, so there you have it. Let's do a little recap here, shall we? Number 1, Disconnected. Number 2, FWX, or Face Warning 10. Number 3, The Spectre Within. Number 4, No Exit. The worst album cover, though. If I was to do the worst album covers for Face Warning, this would be it. Number 5, Awaken the Guardian. Probably the number 1 album cover, with Spectre Within number 2. What am I here? Number 6, Not on Brocken. Now I know a lot of you are saying that, well, this is the worst album cover. No. No Exit's the worst. This will probably be number 2. Number 7, Darkness in a Different Light. That one, don't like that one either. Number 8, Theories of Flight. That one's pretty good. Number 9, Perfect Symmetry. That one, it's all right. Number 10, Long Day, Good Night. Number 11, Parallels. That was pretty good. Pretty good cover. Number 12, Inside Out. Again, this one probably be, right in the top 5 worst album covers. And number 13, A Pleasant Shade of Gray. The album I still don't get. So there you have it. Face Warning ranked. Next Monday, I'll probably be doing a little band from Germany. And that band will be this one right here, Accept. This is their most recent album. Though, we'll see. But that's definitely going to be it. Might change, but right now it's pretty concrete. Had some people ask me about doing the Grateful Dead. Excuse me. I have all their studio albums and some live stuff. I don't consider myself Deadhead. I do like their stuff, their albums, their songs. In fact, I was fortunate enough to go see the Grateful Dead right before Jerry, I think the year before he passed away. That was, a Grateful Dead concert is more than just a concert. It's an experience. It was an experience. I saw them twice. Once at Park City, Utah. It was outside. Very strange people. Walking up to the concert where they had the concert, walked through this one area. It smelled like crap. smelled awful. But the concert was good, what I got to see of it, but I'm not going to go into that, what happened. A friend of mine, me and my friend of mine went to see him at the Delta Center, and we were right at the very top, nosebleed. And again, very strange, interesting people. Right behind us, there's a little mezzanine area, and every once in a while they'd play a certain song, and these people would come up and start twirling around, and oh, the body odor was awful. It was awful. Like, break out the hoses and hose these people down. Throw some soap on them. I'm sorry if you're a deadhead. I'm going to speak my mind, but bad hygiene. No, I'm sorry. But I'm glad I went and seen it. The spot we were in was kind of to the side of the stage. Could have been better, but I was still fortunate enough to get tickets. But anyway, someday I'll do the Grateful Dead, but right now I got other things planned, except probably maybe the band Tyr, who's from the Faroe Islands. Probably do them. But we'll see what's going on. This Saturday I got, we're ranking the songs. I got Coliseum doing Daughter of Time. 8 songs. I think that album came out in 1970. Progressive rock. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Faint Warning is a great band. Definitely check them out. Check them out on YouTube Music. That's what this channel is all about. Getting information about out there to people. A lot of these bands, that's like Coliseum. I didn't know there was a band called Coliseum. This is how I found out, a show like this. I think it was Pete Pardo on Seed of Tranquility who was talking about Coliseum, their live album, which is really, really good. But this expands your musical horizons, let's put it that way. That's what I'm trying to do, is expand your musical horizons. But anyway, leave your own ranking of Fates Warning. I'd love to see it. Let me know what you think of some of the albums. And yeah, have a good week, and we'll see you this Saturday and next Monday. So have a good one.